Today I want to make a video on the Charioteer because the Charioteer is a tier attack destroyer unlike the SU-101. It has like no armor whatsoever, but it's a fairly fast vehicle that is pretty usable in most situations considering it has an 8.5 second reload on a 390 alpha damage, 268 penetration gun. And it's fast enough and just flexible enough really to be able to be played as a medium when the situation calls for it. I mean, it has 10 degrees of gun depression. Like, I believe it used to have 5 or 6 a few years ago, but nowadays it has 10. So this thing is pretty much like driving a Centurion 7-1, but a tier lower and without the armor. It's honestly pretty incredible that this vehicle is in the game in this form. Like, it's actually a pretty goddamn fun tier 8 tank destroyer to play, especially in comparison to the SU-101. The SU-101, I can't put into words how disappointed I was in that vehicle, but this one here, I'm genuinely happy I actually went through and actually played this thing because it's a genuinely fun tank because it's quick, it has a gun that's fun to use, and crucially, like most other tier 8 tank destroyers, it scales up really nicely. So whenever you're against tier 10s, you can perform still at least well. Like, one thing I love about tier 8 tank destroyers, and this is something that's pretty much unique to tier 8 tank destroyers as far as I can think of, maybe tier 6 tank destroyers you could argue as well, but tier 8 tank destroyers have guns which can basically work well no matter the matchmaking that they're in. And that's something that's just really good about this tier's tank destroyers. Like, there are not too many tiers of tank destroyers which you can say that about. Tier 7 tank destroyers, forget about it. Tier 7 tank destroyers are crap in comparison to tier 8. And tier 6, like, there are some gems at tier 6, don't get me wrong, but tier 6, I just don't think the penetration of tier 6 is quite high enough for them to really be considered like roughly like for them to be able to consistently deal with vehicles 2 tiers higher. Whereas tier 8 tank destroyers, I honestly feel like just can, because they're just good enough to be able they're set up in a way that just seems to be so that they can. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully I haven't just rambled incoherently for like a minute, but let's try and do some damage here. So it is a full tier 8 game. Pretty much one of the best situations for this tank because it means that there's still a lot of health, but your gun is going to be incredibly good in this sort of matchmaking. So the question now just becomes like, will any other tanks appear down here? Because honestly, I was expecting like 2 or 3 tanks to appear down here, because I've noticed that seems to be a bit of a trend these days where people seem to like going to that position. But let's see, this is the links. Of course, I'm talking about all the great things about this gun. Of course, the first shot just missed completely. It's always how it goes, isn't it? You say something's really good, and then the game just takes the first opportunity to show you, nope, you're wrong. Guess things are going to happen. But hopefully, whenever the Lynx shows himself again, I'll be able to whack him with a shot. And I was actually very tempted to load a HE round there, but of course the guy fired the shot, and because it took a second for him to actually show as being spotted, he got away with that shot for free. That's annoying. Where's the best place for me to position myself now? So they have a Pagito over there, Barask, and yeah, it looks like other people are getting whacked from the side. That is exactly why I didn't do that. So, ACRBS 1's over there. Honestly, I kind of feel like I'd be better off going towards south now because it doesn't look like it's going great. We have 1 IS-3 versus about 7 enemy vehicles. Yeah, I should probably help out with that because that looks like it's going to end poorly for the IS-3, and the defender is probably going to have to fall back. And yeah, you can see he's actually fallen back already. He's probably going to have to fall back after the IS-3 dies in order to effectively just spot for us. Although that Borsig is being really, really ballsy there. Do you see that? Look where he is. He's going to get absolutely destroyed here in a second. And there's no point in the... Like, I feel bad for the IS-3. I have been that tank so many times where I've been the one like holding the flank, and then, of course, like, no one else comes to support me. Like, I have been that tank too many times to count. So I am 100% understanding of why that guy would be annoyed with that situation, because he has all the right to be annoyed about that. But wow, that was an interesting trade there, because I don't think I was spotted there. but that guy I think was guessing roughly where I would be because I spotted him, and because I spotted him, he probably assumed, oh yeah, he's probably there, which actually pretty clever. That's a good way of sort of working out whether or not a vehicle is in line sight of you. That actually makes a lot of sense. But the one thing I'm worried about now is actually, yeah, we do have some backup over there, so we should be good in that regard. So we do have more tanks back here now, so we should be able to hold up for a while. But I would really like to kill this Scorpion if I can, and that was a bit of a risk. Actually, it wasn't the Scorpion that hit me, it was the MX. Okay, that was not as heavy a hit as I was expecting. So, let me see. IS-22, T-69, whack shot into you. See, this is where this sort of tank is absolutely fantastic. Any other tank destroyer, I would have to come around the corner, traverse my tank, aim my gun, and then fire. This thing here, because turret, doesn't have that problem. Although my gun suppression is not quite good enough to deal with this guy. And fire a shot into him and then fell back because I don't want to get hit with that guy again if I can help it. And of course there's a 703 back there. But if I can, I will finish you off. Just to remove a tank from the fight. It was a wee bit risky to do that, but I may as well try and get rid of an enemy vehicle if I can. But we have evened up the scores fairly well here. And this is one thing which I do think is actually a genuinely bit of a problem with this map and the way it's balanced right now. Did you see how many vehicles they had over there? They had about 7 enemy vehicles that were pushing forward up this flank. And I don't think that's an exaggeration. And they just got stalled out by what, like 4 of us? Yeah, 4 of us just stalled out that advance completely. Because there's no way in hell they can push forward. Because if they push forward, they get wrecked and they come inside of the range of these guys too, which will just mean that they die even faster. So essentially they were just screwed as soon as they came forward. But yeah, as soon as I saw him there, I just fired a shot and fell back. So yeah, nice. That actually worked out. I'm stunned, but that somehow worked out in getting him killed. Cool, I guess. I'm not going to complain about that. So let's see, now the question is what to do now, because the 703 I know is back there somewhere. Because the 703 hit me earlier, and I didn't spot him when I refired either, which gives me the impression that he must be further back than I'm assuming. So let's take a look. So I can't really fall back to a different position right now, because if I move I will get spotted. So probably the best thing for me to do is just kind of hang out here for a little while, wait for the heat to kind of die off on my position, and then try and make a little move across here. Oh, I spotted the lava. Okay, so we now know where the lava is. And of course the tank, or not the tank destroyers, the mediums, which were over there, to shoot that guy, have actually moved now. That's actually kind of unfortunate. Also, the enemy charioteer is up here. So the reason why I was moving forward there is because I was hoping to be able to potentially counter that guy if he was to come forward. But unfortunately that didn't wind up playing out like that. And the thing is, if I push forward here, well, there's going to be a gun aimed there, and there's going to be a gun aimed there. So probably the best way for me to try and spot that guy is to do this. And if I spot him like that there, I don't get a chance to fire my gun, but it spots him for someone else to shoot him. And he only has 390 health. 390 health is practically nothing. I think I may have spotted him again there, but yep, there he is there. That's him gone. So that leaves just the IS-22, who is on 250 health. Okay, so we're in a pretty good position here. I don't think I was spotted that last time I crested that hill. So let's see, I'm just trying to remember, where is that position over there? Is it there? Yeah, there it is there. So I was trying to remember, I had a bit of a brain fart for a second there, thinking like, whereabouts is that position that the enemy tank destroyer sits? I kind of feel like I want to try just a shot there. No, that just hit the rock, I think. See, it's kind of difficult to judge. I don't know which rock is in the background and which one's in the foreground. And the 703 is now up here. Okay, so we know where the 703 is. The Charioteer is the only unknown vehicle right now. I was playing very cautiously there, but it's, well, you can kind of tell why. I'm only on 78 health. 78 health is nothing. Like, a HE round from either of these enemy vehicles. Even the Charioteer with the 20-pounder gun firing HE would kill me at this point, because like that's just one of the things with tank destroyers. Tank destroyers just typically do not have much health, with the exception of like the English and the Germans. Like those are the only ones that have a lot of health. Although even the Germans can't have the exception at tier 10, because for some reason at like tier 9 you get 2100 health on the Jagdtiger. At tier 8 you get 1500 health on the Ferdinand. At tier 10 you get 100 more health than you had at tier 9. Always looked at that and thought that's a bit weird. Why wouldn't you get more health than that at tier 10? Like it seems like you probably should, but for some reason you don't. So I'm going to actually see if I can position myself here where I hopefully won't get spotted, because I don't want to get killed by this 703. I lowered HE at the worst possible moment, didn't I? And I got spotted. Shit. Yeah, in fact, I should go back to AP 100%, because I lowered HE to get a shot at the Charioteer, but then I noticed that the 703 actually had line of sight to me. And the problem is if I push around that corner now, they're going to know it was me that spotted them, and they'll just blind fire. That shot should have hit him, really. Like, I'm kind of annoyed that I actually missed. And the 703 has killed the Renegade. We need the Charioteer dead. Need him to make a mistake. What? That shot went through him. That shot 100% went through that guy. It didn't actually collide with his visual model. Or that collided with his visual model but didn't hit his damage model. What the hell? Like, I think that must have been lag on the server or something, because that hit him. There's no way in hell that didn't hit him. That was pretty much my best option there, was just to sort of bait him out. But now comes the situation where there is an Object 703 over there. He doesn't have that much health. He's a one shot for me. If I don't kill him on this first shot, I should be able to kill him with a HE round. But he has fired both barrels, which means his reload will be at least somewhat long. Ah, damn, he's side scraping. I thought he was more in the open than he was. But he has fired another one of his guns, which means he probably still has about an 11 or about 10-second reload. I might actually start firing HE rounds on, because if I start doing that... Oh, never mind. The 252 thankfully resolved the situation for me, because that was proven to be a bit more awkward than I was anticipating. Like, I didn't think the 703 was where he was, and he just backed up and just immediately started side scraping. I was like, shit. I didn't think he was in a position to do that. I thought he was more in the open than he was. So that was a wee bit awkward, but it was an interesting game. Like, that was an interesting game to say the least, and you can see just how many missions are ongoing at the moment. I actually meant to do a video on that, because there's currently a ton of different missions ongoing right now, which you can use to just improve your XP gain, as well as just making it a lot cheaper to buy vehicles and things like that. So like, I'm honestly surprised as well how little of a grind there is between this thing and the Conway. Because the Conway, like, I only have... Oh, well, actually, apparently I've had a few more drop. I just didn't realise. But I have 3 blueprints. I thought I only had 1. But the Conway, XP-wise, doesn't cost very much. And it means that I'm pretty much... Like, I'm only 8,000 XP from the halfway point to get the Conway. So the grind on the Charioteer is going to be really, really quick, but I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of fun, because this is a vehicle I do enjoy playing. That just wound up being a game that was a bit closer than I was expecting, because most games in the game today are fairly short. That was actually one of the rare games which was over, I think that was over probably 7 minutes, I would guess. Oh, that was nearly 11 minutes. The time didn't even register to me there, but that was a pretty fun game. I am happy with the way it went and the way I played that. I probably could have played it a bit safer at certain points and maintained my health a little bit better, but I do think that was a sort of good idea of like what this tank's able to do and the way I was able to relocate, and just the unbelievable just ease of play this thing has, just because it has a turret. Having a turret is absolutely amazing on a tank. Sure, it helps you out so much in terms of what you're able to do. So yeah, I really do think the Charioteer might be a tier 8 like tank destroyer I go and buy back, because the thing is, this is the problem I always had with the English tank destroyers. When it came to going up the second line, I went up the Firefly side rather than going up the tank destroyers. So effectively what I did was I screwed myself on crew training. So I went from the Firefly to the Challenger. The Challenger I got about one crew skill pretty much completed. And then Charioteer I'm on about 1.5 crew skills. So effectively this tank is heavily nerfed right now because my crew skills are garbage and they're nowhere near as high as they probably should be. In fact, I only retrained them yesterday to have safe stowage and Sixth Sense, because I actually didn't realize I didn't have them on this vehicle. But yeah, I do think this is a great vehicle, and it's a really nice change of pace after the SU 101.